Welcome to Beyond the Roar. This is a show with me, Chris McGuire, and my father, Todd McGuire, talking about life, events, and tragedy. Please join us for all the comedic things we're going to be talking about and all the fun that we're going to have. Enjoy.
They're not interested in dissolving a baby cow. But like a baby cow is 200 pounds. So instead of saying, how much acid would it take to dissolve a 200-pound human? And people were going to that. Why do you want to dissolve the baby cow? It was a big thing. But somebody...
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, it was one of those viral posts that... Anyway, yeah. Well, anyway, we're not on Breaking Bad.
Yep.
We're not dissolving bodies in a barrel that I know of.
I hope not.
Yep.
Hope not. Well, that doesn't relate, but we ought to start the conversation here, considering we're 30 minutes into it.
Well, it's a fun one.
If I can find it here, I should have had this all brought up, actually. The reason... You met this guy in here before.
Yes, probably.
Mr. Tebow's his name. He's from down in Stanley. But he posed the question May 1st. What is it now? May 7th, 6 days ago. He said, what makes us lovable in the eyes of God? Which is a weird conversation to get into right after talking about dissolving people, but what makes us lovable in the eyes of God? He thinks all them big, deep questions.
That's a good question.
That's a huge question.
Last night at our discipleship course, I posed kind of the same question, that why would the Lord leave heaven to come down to you and I?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I have nothing physically that I can offer the King of Kings. I can't do enough. I can't be enough to even merit his love and but he loves us. And the Bible says, because some people will say this, I've done too much, I've been too far, and I can only imagine how helpless they feel and hopeless.
Oh, yes.
But the scripture says, while you were yet sinners, Christ died for you. So while you were still wandering and wallowing in your sin, he still loved you enough.
Right.
To leave the comforts of heaven, come down to earth, to live for 33 and a half years, knowing there's going to be a cross, knowing there's going to be... The cross was always in the plan. It was never something that was second thought or plan B.
Right.
The cross was, from the beginning, the cross was the plan. And so the question again was, why would God love us?
What makes us lovable in the eyes of God? I don't know if that's any different.
Ask a mother whose child is being sentenced to life in prison for killing somebody.
Who's the one there they done a documentary on?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer, his mom. She said, he's still my son.
They asked her, you're crying. Do you not realize how much of a monster he is? And she said, I do. But he's still my boy.
Yep. Yep.
So when Jesus Christ came down from glory, robed himself in flesh, God manifest in flesh, walked among us, and saw who we were. And if Jeffrey Dahmer's mother can love him that much, how much more can God love? Because God is love. He hates your sin.
That's right.
And he wants you free from that. But he loves you. He loved you enough to leave all of heaven.
Oh, yeah.
To come down to die on a stupid, bloody, cruel cross. And I'm so thankful that he did.
That's a good answer to that.
I think.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of an indirect answer. It's not really, what would we do? There's nothing that we could do to deserve the love of God. There's nothing that I can do to deserve.
More, not so much deserving, but what makes us lovable? What does God see in us that is lovable, that he would want to do that, I guess?
Availability to worship him, but also to tell the world about who he is. And look what he did for me, and he can do the same for you.
Yeah.
But we have to get it.
What's availability, though? What's that mean?
Being available. So I don't have anything to offer Jesus Christ. I don't have fortune, fame, money, and I couldn't have enough that would make him want to love me more. But your availability is what he wants. You. He wants you. He's not interested. That's why we sing songs like, if you can use anything, Lord, you can use me.
Yeah.
Take my hands, take my feet, speak to me.
Heart, Lord, speak to me.
And so if you have availability, that's all he wants. If you'll say, Lord, I'll do, I'll go, I'll be, that's part of it.
That sounds like a dog almost.
Loyalty.
Well, no, but as an owner of a dog, I'm not an owner, you're not an owner, but when you own a dog, they can't do nothing for you, especially if it's a little Shih Tzu or Chihuahua or something. Yeah. But you still love that animal, even though it's useless.
Let me tell you this much. Take your wife and take your dog and put them in the trunk of a car and leave them for a day and see which one loves you when you open the trunk.
That's terrible.
I can tell you right now, it wouldn't be the woman. The old dog would be so happy to see you.
Yeah.
Where you been all day long? Where you been? How come I've been locked in this trunk all day? And the woman would be like,
Imagine. Yeah.
Get a dog. Told your mother, said I need a dog. You don't need a dog. I need a dog. I don't need a dog.
No, you don't need a dog.
Honey, I want a dog. No.
Get a cow.
Oh. Do you know how expensive cows are today?
I recently learned.
Holy macaroni.
Just recently. Just this last year and a half, 2 years.
Somebody on Facebook this morning, local, I don't know, I say local to New Brunswick, it seemed to me like it was on a maritime farm thing, whatever, hobby farm something. They were selling belted Galloways.
Yes. Well, those are expensive.
$6,000 for what I thought it was. Excuse me, I thought it was a good deal though. $6,000 for the mother and a calf.
Okay, yeah.
Then they had the bull, which was a red Galloway. They're wonderful and they're
Galloways
beautiful animals.
Yeah.
And you're looking at probably to buy that entire herd was about 50 or 60 grand. However,
is that it?
Yeah, well, 5. There was 10 of them, I think, in the herd.
Oh, I thought you meant like 40
They're like
50.
5 or 6,000 per,
yeah.
And there's like 10, so you got 50 or 60 grand. And however, if you're a big cow person, you can look at that 10 cows and say, well, in 3 years I have the option of having 30 cows instead of 10. You know what I mean? Like, because you'll breed them, and that's so it's an investment if you have that liquid money sitting to do that, or you had a farm. I have a friend of mine over here in our village or here in our town who's a farmer. He's a homesteader type, but he's got 17 head of cattle.
Who's that?
17 head of cattle. And it's amazing.
That's a lot.
And, yep. 17 head of cattle.
The price of the animal, I don't think is the expensive part. It's the food, it's the veterinarian visits, because they're very specific about that.
And now our province decided that those vets no longer matter.
I did hear that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird anyway. But
let's just keep giving money overseas. Let's just give away everything we have. Matter of fact, let's sell the entire province. Let's sell the whole nation of Canada to somebody else. That's what they're doing now. slowly and quietly behind our back,
Yeah, money.
selling
money,
everything.
Money, money, money.
Other nations are going to own us, and that's it. What a grim thought.
You ever look back on the Bible in that regard? Because that's what the people of God were doing. God told them, he said, don't borrow from these other nations, only lend to them, don't sell your property. They had the year of Jubilee where everything came back to them. All these different things, but they stopped doing all that. Their land got taken over, different cities, they brought in these other country people.
Yeah.
And funny, you know?
At the end of the day, do you remember watching when you were younger and we had the movie Ants?
Oh, yeah.
And I was again reminded just within the past 2 months of one of the scenes in it. And it was about one of the, not ants, but grasshoppers. And he was given a speech to his people.
Yeah.
That these ants are more than we could ever handle if they really realized what was going on. You
were scrolling on YouTube or something, weren't you? And watched that.
Probably, it was likely a reel on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I remembered back to that scene, watching it the first time, and yes, it's the truth.
It's true.
And the government's the same way. Keep the ants under, because if the ants realize how much power and authority they have, and that takes us back to the Bible, where Pharaoh told his people when he had the children of Israel in bondage in Egypt, keep them under,
these people
whip them
great.
heavier.
Yeah.
How are we going to take care? If they decide to turn on us, they will overthrow us tomorrow. We can't lose our position of power. And that's when God told Moses to go in and talk to Pharaoh. He went into Pharaoh 10 times. Thus saith the Lord, let my people go. No.
Yep.
Then he would barter and say, well, okay. And then, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Lord hardened his heart.
The Lord hardened his heart, and all the plagues took place. Finally, the people of Israel are being ejected from the nation after the last plague happened and Pharaoh lost his firstborn child. And there's a whole lot to that story, and I'm just putting it into a bottle cap real quick. But when they were leaving, they went in with, I think it was 300,000 or 400,000 when they went into bondage, and they left with over 3 million.
Nope.
Am I wrong?
Yep.
Tell me.
I think it was 300 people when they started, and it was 600 when they left.
Could have been. Still.
400 years.
Over the course of 400, must have been more than 600,000 people.
Well.
They bred like rabbits.
When they did this, that could have been I just read this.
We can ask ChatGPT. It would tell us.
No, I don't want to ask ChatGPT.
Let's search it.
Nah.
Tell us.
Anyway, it would be between 600 and 1 million, roughly.
But you imagine, though, and obviously Pharaoh understood, and they were workers. These people were workers, laborers. They were strong.
Oh, yeah.
Pharaoh would have been decorated. His nails would have been done, and his toes, and he would have looked good, and he would have been a little, but
soft. I shouldn't say it that way, but you imagine being a king or something back then. I meet people that come in here that only do, I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah.
They do very low.
Do you know what I like?
Why?
When I shake a man's hand, give me the handshake.
You like to feel a man's hand?
I don't like it when they go, when they put their hand out like this to no. And when they do, I hook onto the whole thing and give them a little, how you doing?
It's like holding a salmon, raw fish.
Right?
Whoa. Yeah, I get that.
Anyway, I believe.
In some countries they hold hands.
Yes.
That's a normal thing.
I watched that when we were in Nigeria.
Yeah, you would have.
And it might but that's not a. It's
a friendly thing.
It is family friend. That means you're a close friend, and they might even just hold their pinky when they're walking, just holding their pinky, but it's a connection thing. It's not a, whatever. So when I saw that the first time, I was like, And you don't say anything because you're in a foreign country.
Well, in that country, what they believe too is they're not much into that. Can I say it that way?
Sure, you sure can.
And
that's why I thought that. I was like, so I asked the friends that I was with, they were missionaries there, and they was explaining to us that.
See the one that pooped on the wall?
Yes. He or I think it was somebody that was there visiting them. White man, you done something there.
Yeah.
He got dysentery from eating something.
Yeah. Crapped all over the alleyway.
That's the diarrhea. And the missionary or the national that was driving the vehicle, finally the guy said, "You have to stop. I'm going to blow up." And they pulled over, and he went to try to find, you're in a city of back then 9 million people. Now there's 20 million. Where are you going to find a spot where there's no person?
Corner.
And he went into a corner where there was a fence, and he said, "I'm safe here." And he unhitched his britches and did his incoming explosion. And he got all done and felt better and thought, there, nobody saw. And then when he stood up, there was a woman standing there with her hands on the fence saying, "White man, you did something there." And she laughed, thought it was the funniest joke in the world.
That would be awesome. I'd laugh too.
I'll tell you what's not, I don't mean odd, what is weird, what is different, awkward even, is when we get off at the airport and get on in the vehicle going to our destination. We had to drive through the town away from the airport. It was not uncommon to see a man. 80% of the time they would turn their back, though, and just pee on the sidewalk. I remember driving by and I was like, "Ugh, look at that guy, got her right out there peeing on the sidewalk." Or,
I seen that up here at the Ultramar.
I believe that.
Except,
welcome to Canada.
It wasn't, he didn't have his back turned. He was standing. How do I lay that out? Imagine this is a parking lot for the Ultramar. He was in this corner over here where the RV dump is, and right there's a main highway and the main road going to the States. And he was standing towards the main road peeing.
Fantastic.
Which I assume he didn't want to pee towards the Ultramar where the desk clerk could see him, but at the same time...
Did he have a vehicle?
Yes.
Sometimes I've had to do this. I mean, we're all human, and we have...
He wasn't near his vehicle.
No. I'm sure he was near, there was something else happening there. I've had to pull over.
What do you mean?
Well, there must have been a little woo-woo-woo. Or
something.
Or chemically induced.
That'd be like me standing right towards my customer here and peeing, or right in my window.
Yep, just throw her out the window. Wouldn't that be something, somebody driving by?
The love of the Lord.
We used to be civilized in our nation. Civility seems to have. But God loves us still.
It said in the Bible you got to pack a shovel for when you go outside of your camp, so that when you
defecate.
It said when you crouch down.
Yes.
Is the words it used, crouch down to perform the business or something.
Right.
It said you need to turn it over.
Right.
To not
bury it.
Yep, bury it.
Even cats know that.
Yep.
Dogs aren't so much.
Well, yeah.
Neither are cows or horses.
How come in the Bible it said, don't bring your offering, don't bring the money in for a dog into the meeting house? You ever read that part? Because they'd probably go to the meeting house to trade.
I've been through the Bible many, many, many times, read through it, but I'm sure I read over that, but it never stood out to me. But that's a good observation.
Don't bring the money for the dog into the meeting house. Wow. You don't bring the money for a dog. Because a dog apparently wasn't something good. Must have been a mongrel.
In some cultures, that would be food. It's true.
I know it's true.
In Africa, they would sell them. We would be driving, and they were the cutest little monsters.
Pugs.
They would be holding them up in the air, showing them to the people that were driving by. And I was like, oh, they're selling dogs. They're sweet little puppies. And the missionary's like, they'll be supper tonight.
Why would you want to eat a dog?
Yeah.
Ain't no meat on the bone. That'd be like eating a...
Better than eating nothing, I suppose.
Well, yes. Well, like a squirrel. Like, ain't nothing. Mostly fur.
Them big old squirrels them big brown squirrels. You can get big ones. Down in the States, I got friends that hunt squirrels and think it's great.
Well, if they were the right size, but I'm thinking maybe it's more the chipmunks. They're just tiny little.
Well, even a little squirrel that we have around here, I mean, they wouldn't be, would they be a half a pound, quarter pound maybe?
Imagine.
They're just all fur.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like a rat with fur.
Yep.
But in some parts of the States, they have big, like we have the gray squirrels here and they get big. They have large brown squirrels.
You know, I'd eat a squirrel, but it'd have to be worth it. You can't be eating, if you took a bone there, and it'd be like eating a pickerel or something. One of them little small fry.
Your cousin Travis, who passed away years
Yeah.
ago, my Aunt Shirley was not feeling well. They were living in Macadam, and Travis was going to make her a soup, make her feel better. But he didn't tell her that he put a squirrel in it. And he did her up a nice soup and
Probably tastes great.
took it up to her, and she was eating it. She laughed about it, for years after. She was eating it, and she said, "This is the best soup," And when it was all done, he said, "Did you like it?" And she said, "That was really good. Thank you. I feel better." "What was in it?" He said, "Squirrel."
I mean, they're clean.
They are. People eat them.
Oh, yeah.
You ever watch them people on them shows like Alone or whatever, some show where they just drop you off in the middle of nowhere, and they'll build these traps to trap mice, to trap squirrel, and eat them.
I wouldn't eat a raccoon.
If I was in the wilderness, might not be so bad eating a raccoon because they would probably
Right.
just forage. But anything in the dumpster diving, raccoon, no.
No, like them.
That's like a bear.
Yeah,
Same
it's-
thing. They're garbage eaters. They just eat whatever.
Yep. I wouldn't eat a bear. Not one around here.
Yeah.
The one that. Yep.
I've got 2 or 3 bear sausage left. Summer
Those are good.
sausage, big.
Who made that?
I did.
You did. Mm-hmm. Huh.
Yeah. But that bear was,
How big were they?
that was in the fall.
Is that what
Yeah.
you just said?
Yeah, they were-
You make a sausage that big.
Well, it's like a
My God, you're
salami
making a loaf.
Yeah, it's a salami loaf like I did.
Holy
I
frig.
had about 80 pounds of bear, and I mixed it with 40% pork, ground it all together, and I made it into a big. So that's like you slice it. It's like for a bigger
Well,
cracker,
yes.
but whatever.
I
like,
assumed you were talking like one hot dog.
no, summer sausage.
That's
I made
it.
those. I had garlic and cracked pepper, and I can't remember the other one, and they're both good. But the bear that was here, like I wasn't feeding him McDonald's hamburgers, and I mean it was being fed. They're herbivore, they're omnivore actually.
Omnivore,
But it was eating good in the woods. It
Yeah.
was fine. Had berries. It was really lean. It was I didn't have to cut much fat off of it when we brought it home.
Didn't you?
So
Wasn't that bear here like 3 years ago?
yeah,
That's an old sausage.
yep.
Probably should eat that.
It's been frozen. In
Doesn't go bad.
Bottom. Oh, I'm sure.
Probably
they
the
are.
bottom of the fridge yet.
They're in the bottom of the
Thawed
freezer.
and
I was rifling through stuff the other day looking for something, and I said, "Oh, there's that bear sausage." I've given I don't know how many away. We had a
Wow.
whole bunch of them.
I never had any.
Oh, I'll give you one. Take it home, try it. Slice her up.
It's all freezer burnt.
You put it. Had to cook it in the oven. Had
Yeah.
to cook
Oh,
it.
yes, I have had that.
Yeah, had to cook it in the oven. They're really good. No issue there. Plus, we have our own sausage that we do at home.
You know, anything's good if you season it enough.
That's the truth.
I heard a story way back in the day there, in medieval times, they'd bring out the mace and they'd bring out all that stuff because they'd be cooking with meat that sat out all winter. You know, some of it was a bit rancid, but they'd still eat it. Just
Throw her
some
in.
more on.
Chop her up.
Parmesan. Just season it. Season it. Make a stew, cover it with tomatoes.
Put the paprika to her.
Paprika.
I was trying to say the smoked paprika. But.
I gotta pee.
We'll be back after these messages.
You know, to the best of my ability and with all my knowledge that I have and wisdom and grace and mercy, when I'm editing these, I don't watch the entirety of them. I only watch, well, I skim through it just enough to get out all of our ad breaks and the bathroom breaks and all that. And I'm sure one day it's going to happen that I miss one.
An ad break?
No. Me in the bathroom.
Break. You're going to miss a bathroom
I'm
break?
probably going to miss one someday, and somebody's going to come on and say, Chris, I listen to UP.
Oh, you mean cutting it out?
Yeah, I'm probably going to forget one. Do
you remember when we used to go into the radio station? Sorry that you're on ad breaks. That's good.
No, I'm not.
No, but you said about cutting it out. We used to go into the radio station and they wanted an ad played every 15 minutes, and sometimes I'd forget because I'd be so enthralled with music and talking, and then I'd be like, whoop, we got to hear from our sponsors. Whatever it was.
What was the name of the fella there done that?
Ross Ingram.
Was he the one that done the speaking on the ads? This is Ross Ingram.
Yeah. The Kennard Restaurant, downtown Kennard Street. Or whatever.
I used to answer the phone for that.
Yep.
And you'd get some people that call in. I should call them simple.
Yeah.
That's not very nice to say.
No. But it's true.
And they'd call in and you'd listen, and you knew they only had 2 teeth when they were speaking just because the way they said it. I shouldn't say that, but... And they'd try to request a song. I couldn't understand them.
All you'd hear was...
Yep. Yep. Cover me, Toad.
Yep. We
She's
had so much fun.
She never called in, though. She was always on the internet.
Yep. There were several because we did Facebook Live, the whole program.
At least you can understand those, though. You can read even if they're spelt wrong.
Yeah.
But it's hard because some people, they speak in cursive. You know, you can't even understand them.
Sound like a log truck.
Yeah.
You're like, pardon me? What was that again? Okay, that one. Okay. We'll get that up next. Thank you. You're welcome. What do they want? I don't know. Play a song.
Yep. Yeah.
Queued up a song. You have that one in your library. It's funny because we'd have some people call in the same week, every week requesting the same song. They loved it. They just loved the song. It's kind of cool. You know, we'd like to hear whatever by Barry Sullivan. We'd like to hear whatever by the Ascensions. We want to hear whatever by Violet Paisley. We want to hear, and it was the same song every week.
That was fun. Really neat, having all the locals call in and request that.
Yeah.
We're missing a bit of that.
I truly, and that's the one thing about being in our area. I love our area and I love everything here, but I miss the local.
We should get a radio station. You like to do that.
That'd be some fun.
And I know Mitch enjoys it too, but...
Mitch is awesome.
What about like a Christian radio station? He even offered you a spot on it, I guess.
We could work in conjunction and do an hour program or a 2-hour program with Mitch, and he would be great with it.
But even a full time. We only have the AM band up here. There's nothing.
Yeah.
The AM band sucks too.
Yeah.
It's like listening to carbonated water.
It was funny because years ago we used to come down into the town by the bridge somewhere, there wasn't much going on at 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and there was a couple of guys that always were at the bridge, by the end of the bridge, in the parking lot, the old Scotiabank parking lot, or across the river at the co-op parking lot back in the day. What? because you could tune into an AM station that was come from across the border. It was way down into the States, but the sky was clear and you could listen to this. And it was like conspiracy theories, things that are just mainstream now. They were
Joe Rogan.
Well, yeah.
Pre-Joe Rogan.
It was those, and it was so funny because, and I got caught up into them because different times I would be driving transport or whatever at night, so I just tune it in, listen to it. And there were so many.
Well, they wouldn't have anything else, would they? They wouldn't have Christian. They wouldn't.
Downstate, it's huge. K-Love and different places downstate. You can go all over the place and tune in. You can drive through the Virginias and roll out of one town into another, and there's another brand new radio station that you're listening to. And then it could be some feller in the back end of his trailer with the power enough to get out, through 50 kilometers or 50 miles. And you'd hear him, "Up next is the Crab family. My God, they're good."
Yeah,
he'd throw her out there, or whatever. And I used to chuckle at that and love to listen to that stuff.
How do you run a radio station? Is there a lot into it?
Their sponsorship, it costs a lot. Because, now this is years ago, CJRI, which we were a part of down there.
They had to rent their own space and everything.
They rented their space.
That's different.
And when they wanted to apply for more wattage, I remember one time we were applying for 100, we had a 10,000 watt station. We were applying for 100,000 watts.
I remember that.
Which would have stretched all New Brunswick, filtered into Maine and into Nova Scotia.
That would have blown it up.
But to do that, it was like $150,000 just for the application fee.
Oh.
And so they raised the money, and I don't know where it ever went or whatever. I don't know if they raised it all, but they were. So you've got to have government grants. You've got to work with the FCC. You have to work. And I mean, currently in Canada, CBC is heard in every corner of Canada. The littlest village somewhere, they have enough wattage and power to get into them places. Same with Public Radio Network over in Maine, MPRN, Maine Public Radio Network. That's like CBC over here. And they reach into every little community, clear to Inuvik and Inuit and, into them, Iqaluit, Nunavut. They reach way up into those places. And it would be so awesome. Now everybody does it through internet, if they have internet and internet radio.
But real radio. I know I said earlier people don't listen as much.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of older folks.
Yeah.
And they would listen if they had the chance.
People would listen. I've often said out home where we're at, we're up higher on a hill. And I remember one time when we were wanting to do the 100,000 watt. Paul, the engineer at that time, asked me, "Would you ever be willing, or do you know a place in Perth Andover where we could put a repeater tower?" And I said, "Yeah, put one right in my yard." Like that was up in the field back in the day. And you have to bring in like a small container or a building, and you have to have the power to it. You have to be able to access it if something goes offline or whatever, to go in and reset things. But anyway, we talked about that. But we're in an area right here that type of radio would be successful.
Yeah, it would. You imagine gospel, I mean, there's rock, there's pop, there's all that stuff, but gospel, with the amount of Christians, like, there's 7 churches in town here, not including all the surrounding areas up on the hills.
I really think, no, it's my opinion, because there's such a varied number of likes of music in the Christian world. If you were going to create a station, it would have to be an all-encompassing, not just Southern gospel, not just praise and worship, not just, you'd have to have like I
rock
remember
segments and all that.
Yeah, I remember Tim McGraw wrote a song back when, it was called Back When, and he said about, I had my favorite station, the one who played them all, country, soul, rock and roll, what happened to them times. And we still have those type of stations around where they play You know, I've been listening to, I can't even remember the call. I don't even know the call letter of this over in Maine. Anyway, they reach into here, and they've got a bunch of 80s, 90s, and today it's soft rock and punk rock, and it's old rock and it's new rock, and it's everything, you know. And they throw some country in there. It's a lot of fun if you're just traveling along. But I would love to be able to have a station like that would be gospel.
K-Love does something similar.
Yeah.
I heard it up there. I was at a restaurant in Bastrop, and one of the restaurants was playing it. And it was every sort of Christian music.
We've been on K-Love.
Probably.
The McGuires. When we were down in Massachusetts the last time, we were out with my buddy Ed, and he's like, "Oh, here's your advertisement." He turned it up. The McGuires come into, the Mill Church, blah, blah, blah. And then they would play Mama Singing, and it was a song and it was pretty cool. And I'm like, that's being broadcast all around. Yeah. I know that was Massachusetts, but on K-Love, just to think that, whoever we are up here are even in their library.
Yep. That
could randomly pick that song some night to play while it's on automation. It's kind of cool.
That is wild.
Love it.
That's funny coming from a small area, though, and to seeing that stuff. That might be more common down in the States. It ain't up here.
No.
I don't think of advertising at all on the radio. If we had a local station, like a tower, that would be different, but we don't.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest things for me. Like, who listens to what station plays over here? It's hard to pick up the country station, I noticed. I don't listen to much of the radio. I just use Spotify.
96.9, that's big country.
You don't pick that up in town, though.
No, when you tip over the hill, see, that's
funny.
When you go up by the highway, you're up out of the valley, and you're going up a little higher. You can re-pick it up. 97.7, that's the one. Kicks FM.
Maybe.
Might not be Kicks, I'm sorry. I think Kicks is the one down 94.7 down in Holton. And that's my go-to. If I have to listen to the radio, I don't like big country because it's all new stuff. And I'm not into the new country. Some of it's whatever, but I'm not into it at all. And so 94.7 Kicks FM down in Holton, Monticello, they have a really cool station that plays the old 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, but then they kind of drift closer to the 70s and 80s and that music, and that's what I like. And then 97.7, that's the one, I can't remember the call letters of the station, but that's the one that's the pop, and it plays all of some of the old, some of the new. And I like that. That's a lot of fun. But there's just I think there's AM 600.
Yeah.
Or AM 710. I don't know. Anyway, should know these things.
That's the one that sounds like carbonated water.
Any AM station has
not very good at all.
Well, it just doesn't have any, like the AM stations always had a high frequency, and you'd hear that. It doesn't matter where you tune that AM station into. And a lot of times years ago, AM stations were used for talk radio. Yeah. Unless you were a local city that had AM 43 or 430 or AM 420, whatever. There's probably an AM 420 out there.
Definitely.
I'm certainly somewhere. That just makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm just saying, like, it was a lot of times it was used for talk radio because you didn't need it. You can listen to somebody with a voice that's kind of a little higher or the frequency or whatever I'm trying to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Music through it, though, sounds terrible. Mm-hmm. We could have talked about that back in our music podcast that we did, but there's nothing. The mids, the lows, they're definitely gone.
I used to think back in the day it was because of our radios in the cars.
Nope.
And the radios in the cars back in the day were just cheap, AC Delco made a good radio. But they were just kind of a cheap radio, cheap speakers. But then when you even got a good speaker system reinstalled into your vehicle, you still had the same AM, that same whatever. I think Mitch has right here in town, I think that Mitch at Folked Up Radio has applied and been going through the FCC to try to get an FM.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah, it's a process, man.
Oh, yeah.
But once it happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch is smart. He can write. He writes grants. He works and he does all those things. So he's on to that. And when you get the approval, let's go.
I just don't get why it's taken so long. Poor Mitch, like, it just shouldn't be that
Government
way.
bureaucracy. They will go through all of his personals. Nobody knows what is put on the line when you apply to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever that might be. They would go through all of his, what's his agenda? Let's listen to the radio station currently. So the board, that would be the deciding board, would be listening to all of his things, everything that goes on, his advertisements. How does he advertise? What is his, you know, does the FCC want to hook themselves to this type of a situation? So they have a high standard, is what I guess I'm trying to say.
I don't know if it's a high standard. With how he put it, he said that the inspector that's supposed to come up here, he was supposed to come once, canceled, and he was only available 6 months out.
Ain't that crazy?
Or something crazy like that, and it happened twice on him or something. And then if he comes up here and finds that something's not exactly as it should be, there you go again.
I'm sure that there's not that many stations in New Brunswick that are wanting to apply for an FM grant, you know, or whatever.
Must be inspection.
So how in the
I assume
world?
that he'd be also doing the radio, not the radio towers, but the cell phone towers. There's got to be something there.
Yeah, probably.
The amount of power that's getting shot out. We're probably in the next... I can see them moving to only satellite for everything. Even our phones. I don't know the technical specifications. Maybe there'd be a little more latency. But we have a tower. I don't even know where it's at. A couple kilometers up the road here. Maybe
There's one up here and there's one out home. Repeaters.
Yeah. But the size and the amount of power that they take, you think it'd make more sense just to have a satellite.
Yeah. And if the grid goes down,
that's
satellites are up there. I mean, you know, unless they're shot out of the air or whatever, or blow up or whatever, you probably, and it's really not that much difference shooting it up versus shooting it across from repeater to repeater. You might as well shoot it up so it can cast it back down.
You'd have to have more, though. It would be a big cost.
I'm certain.
But these ones they use so much thinking power, and shooting signal doesn't work very good.
I had a guy tell me years and years ago, like 2000-ish, he said, back then, he said, if you could color code every transmission and receiving. So what he was saying was, if it was dark and you were in a room and you could see everything that's being shot through communications, he said, like a laser, like if you could just see and you could color code everything, the room would be full. Like there's just
would be,
and that's through radio communications. Mm-hmm. That's through airplanes. You know, Alpha Delta Bravo 269er heavy coming in for a landing at whatever, and those are
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
Yeah,
our phones
and it's
are
even
communicating.
worse. You know, here we are 30 years down the road or 26 years down the road, and even these. You know, I've heard people say things like, "I shut my phone off at night." Mm-hmm. Physically shut it off because the Wi-Fi is coming in and it will disrupt your sleep, you know, or what you can feel or it's a cancer causing, or, I mean, there's all kinds of speculation on everything.
You know what? In my very low understanding of anything health related, also, I'm not a doctor, so don't take any of my advice, but fasting is talked about a ton in the Bible. It's stuff that has always been in the Bible. In the early church, it was required if you were going to be a saint. They said you fasted twice a week.
Wow.
Thursday or Wednesday and Friday or something like that. anyway, we've lost all that. But eating all the time, from what I have researched, is not good for you.
Mm-mm.
Your body, when you're fasting, will go in and take out all them cells that are malformed or have any issues, or maybe you stored some red 40 dye or something in your fat cells, and fasting goes in and cleans all that out of you. I've heard people say if you get cancer, one doctor even just the other day I was listening to said if you got stage 4 cancer, just fast 30, 40 days. Said your body will go in, it'll stop creating those cells, and it'll clean them up.
I have believed in that for years, not just the fasting spiritual benefits, but your physical benefits.
Spiritual benefits too, though.
100%. I personally do an intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
So now this morning I broke it early, but I usually do a 16 and 8. Mm-hmm. So anytime after 6 o'clock at night, I don't eat. I've had to readjust that some. Depends on what we're doing or where we're at, where I've moved it to like 8 o'clock. But normally after 6 o'clock, I don't eat, and I don't eat till noon the next day. That's my 16 and 8. So then I will eat from noon until 6 again. Is it 18 and 6?
Yeah.
What are you talking to me about? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do a
12 to 6 is 6.
Yeah, right. But I eat from noon until 6 o'clock. That gives me my 6-hour window to eat. And then I go back into my intermittent fasting. And through that, your body will burn free radicals. It will disperse things away from your
I don't
body.
even know what that is.
But just cancerous things. If a person like you're saying, I had a doctor tell me years ago that he fasts a total of 1 month out of the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a week here and a week here and a week here. But he said every quarter I try to fast a full week.
Yep.
And it just cleanses your body. It cleanses your body. Your body then will go in and start repairing itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. The Lord created us.
Yep.
And we only have one go at this. And when your last breath is breathed, you're done. There's no second chances. Well, when you're completely done, sometimes you get brought back.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. And so we only get one kick at the can at this life. I had to learn this years ago. And I'm still not the healthiest person in the world. I still do stupid things, but I have the knowledge in here that I try to put into work all the time. Just a walk does so much, not just for your body, but for your mental health. Mm-hmm. There have been times where I've been uber stressed. So much happening, so much going on, and you don't know how to fix whatever this is. Go for a walk.
Yep.
And when you go for a walk, then your body begins to release those endorphins, the feel-good chemicals, and you start feeling better. And pretty soon, by the time your walk's done, you're like, I didn't solve any problems, but boy, do I ever feel better.
Yep.
I can go home now and rest, or whatever that is. So, I mean, for a long time, your mother and I were doing like 3.5 kilometers a day, sometimes twice a day. And then you get stuck in that was when we were evangelizing full time, and we were going and never stopped. Every place that we stopped, we walked for 20 minutes. When we did a bathroom break, 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
That was what we did. Yes, we're going to, absolutely. I was supposed to start in April.
Yep, that was a while ago.
We're in May. Just a daily, even if it's just one. And we used to start, we would either drive where Ian McIntosh lives up there, we would park there, walk all the way down to
Napa.
Yep, and then back. And that's 3.25 kilometers.
That's a good walk.
The return trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And it took me 45 minutes. Like, Mom, she's got shorter legs than I do, but mister, can she ever put the feet to the road? She'll have that done, 25-minute, half hour, and I'm still, I'm getting there. I'll be there, dear.
Yeah.
But it's good. At least you're doing something. So anyway, yeah.
I agree with you. I'm going to, We kind of dropped off that too, but I like going down the trail out back the house,
Yeah.
bringing the baby.
Yeah.
And she's getting to the point now. We haven't experienced it yet, but she's going outside. She doesn't know the word for outside. She looks at the door and says bye-bye.
Oh,
So she goes and grabs her
wants
shoes.
to go outside.
But she loves going down there, and I'm sure she's going to love playing in the water. She's never done that yet.
Oof.
What day is it?
Be
It's the
careful down
7th?
there behind that. That was a mean piece of water back there at your place.
Yes.
It's deep and swift underneath current. But
Well, not the going down
but
it is, but
you can get her, say, for example, out by the rec center in Juniper where the brook runs right by, and it's only like, sometimes I know, sometimes it is
it
very,
just depends on the spot.
but she's going to have fun. We're going to have
That's
fun.
like saying don't jump into the ocean because it's deep.
Right.
Well, I mean, by the shoreline, it ain't.
Beckett loves water.
Probably.
Desiree and Sam Desiree, I guess.
You got built-in
both.
floaties.
Right?
His butt's so big, he'd float right on the water.
He's quite a boy.
Set right on it without going under.
But he loves to go swimming. They take him in swimming to the YMCA or wherever in Fredericton. They go in swimming with him, and they have like little lessons and little things that kids do.
Done that. I'd feel scared taking her into like a chlorine pool just because I know the chlorine's safe and stuff.
Yeah, you won't be there for too long.
No.
But all that is it's a controlled area. Mm-hmm. So now across the border in Caribou, you can go over there. They have a nice indoor pool.
Probably.
And it's like $2 or $3 to swim. Mm-hmm. Go in and float around, get in the hot tub, and just relax. And it's not overwhelmed with people like you just. That would be fun. She'd like that. That would be really fun for her. I don't know anything locally. Does Woodstock have a pool? I don't.
Probably. They got pools everywhere. They just got rid of the one down here on the res. Apparently they had some issues with it and they scrapped it. Right in the river.
Yes.
Toss it right in the river.
The only thing is you should put a life jacket on it.
No, I'm joking. That was a humorous thing.
I remember we used to take you when you were her age. Maybe a few months older. What, she's 14 months?
14, yeah.
So you was a couple years old, and we'd go down to the wharf on Campobello.
Toss me off.
No, but you were such a busy child. Like, we could turn our back and you'd be gone. Where'd Chris go? I don't know. Go, he's just busy. He's exploring. You love to explore. So when I was down fishing, and Mama, we'd get down to the wharf and have fun fishing mackerel and just talking to people. We put a life jacket on you, because if you ever fell over, that's the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to be careful because the tides coming in and going, and they're fast. So the only thing we didn't do was tether you to. We just let you go, but anyway. So I guess my hopes was if you fell in, I was going to jump in after you without a life jacket on.
Yep.
That was my hopes, I guess. Anyway.
You were hoping that you would, or?
No, hoping that I wouldn't have to. But the idea was if he falls in, I'll just jump over the side and grab him. And hopefully we don't get both washed away in the tide.
Yeah.
Because that can happen.
Oh, yes.
But at least at the harbor, it wasn't as bad. The harbor's a little less. Anyhow, it's a lot of fun. We've been all over the place this morning.
That's good, though.
It is great. Conversations are fun.
I'm a fan of proper conversations. A lot of times you get in the shop here and you get really surface level. I hate when people come in. Look at the weather out there.
Yeah.
I said that to you the other day, but
Get a
it was
little
just because it
deeper.
was raining.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I hate that, though, when they sit down. Oh, yeah, gonna be good, the weather. That's just people not knowing what to talk about.
Gonna be good tomorrow. What do you think about that? Do you know,
I must not.
we're talking about this, podcasts and things. I had a friend of mine who's running for council as well, and he and I have discussed, wouldn't it be cool if we get in, when we get in, that we do a podcast, even if it's a bi-weekly podcast, to keep locals up on what's happening in council.
Nobody knows.
Nope.
I don't know a single person that comes in here. The only thing they know about is the center up on the hill, and most people don't even know about that.
Yeah. There needs to be, and this is one thing that we've learned from this campaign, there needs to be more transparency. See, we were told that we don't handle the day-to-day, we're just council. And that's fine.
What do you mean you don't handle the day-to-day?
We don't take care of the hiring and the firing of employees and stuff. That's why
No,
we
you
have,
wouldn't, right?
That's why we have people set up for those positions. However, there needs to be more transparency available. Yes, they can log into a website. Yes, all kinds, and you can go in and read the
You think
minutes of
people
our
are going to do
meetings.
that, though? People don't even go, they don't even check out the funeral for their mother.
People want easy access to whatever it is they're trying to do. I don't know
Why don't we just have a hear ye, man?
Hear ye, hear ye.
Big bell.
Yep, cling, cling.
You
I remember
believe?
Years ago, we had a gentleman here in the village. Was an awesome individual. It was Sheila Cummings, her dad, and he would drive. Called him the wetback because he was a veteran.
Okay.
And I don't know why he was called the wetback, but anyway, that was his license plate, the wetback. Anyway, he was an awesome person, Mr. Jamer. And when there was anything political or there was any announcement, the fair, the parade or whatever, he would drive up through town in his car. And he had on his roof them great big megaphones.
No freaking way.
To this way, to that way. And he would announce it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about the boat coming up on May the 11th, whatever. And he would drive through town.
We should do that.
Doing a public service announcement. That's what it was back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
And Legion Fair coming up in whatever, don't forget to go over. The Midway's going to open at X time. The parade, don't forget to pray. Don't forget to go to Buns. Don't forget to go over to Von de Merchants and have yourself a piece of steak. And he would just roll through town, especially when it come time for the political things.
Well, here and now, I don't see that happening or being as useful because you don't see people out sitting anywhere.
Right.
Right? People just running around on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
But newsletters.
Yeah.
They have a business newsletter that the town here does. Why don't they have a weekly newsletter that anybody can subscribe to?
That's a good idea.
Saying this is what happened this week. They could use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
The council met and we talked about 4 things. We are looking at doing this. We need to hire somebody.
We actually have AI that takes care of our meetings.
Probably.
And it dictates everything that we say.
Yeah, they could just take that and
into a
condense
file.
it down.
Sure, they could. You could copy that into a ChatGPT thread and say, I want you to take what I've just added or whatever and do this, and this, and give people opportunity, whatever. Send it out there.
People just need to know.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on in town. You do, but I don't.
I sometimes don't know half the things. I mean, I know what's happening as far as what we've talked about.
Is there room for a job that does that goes around town and gets the news, the info on the businesses?
Back in the day, it used to be the Victoria County Record. We had a paper in our town.
Well, not a paper, but they don't have anybody that goes around, gets all the news and sees what people actually want in town.
No, they'll put surveys. We've put surveys out using SurveyMonkey or whatever.
Well, survey's stupid. I mean,
What would you like to see? So you're only getting a very small percentage of your constituents to respond to that. And then some of them are going to look at it and say, I ain't got time to fill out a 5-minute survey. That happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, it does.
People send stuff to me and I'm like, I can't take 7 minutes to do that right now.
We need to have something for that.
Mm-hmm. What we need outside of what we currently have and coming in with this new council on Monday at 8:30, we should know who's elected and who's not. And we need to really, really, really work with our villages and our wards to create a common, so that we're all on the same page is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing that I've noticed over this last while.
Nobody's on the same page because nobody knows what's going on.
Nobody knows what's going on.
And that's why I say if we had somebody running around asking the businesses or seeing what's going on in the community, and then also cross-referencing that with what's going on there, we could get out a proper newsletter that says, here's what happened in Perth, here's what is happening with the council.
I've watched this for years. Fredericton City Council on Rogers TV are live. Every one of their council meetings are live.
Why don't we do that?
I don't know if it's upriver or downriver. I was watching Facebook, and one of them said, council did, I think, maybe one Facebook Live and really enjoyed the feedback and what was happening. Mm-hmm. So from now on, every council will be Facebook Live or YouTube. Anyway, they're going to be on somewhere where people can go in and watch live, interact.
They also bring up, let's say somebody was wanting to give something to town. Do they bring that up too? That all happens right on the live?
Well, anything that needs to be in camera, that's what we call it. Like if there was an issue that we had to deal with, or somebody wanted to donate something or bring it, then we go into, so every one of our council meetings are open to the public. Mm-hmm. Any public are allowed. When are they? The second and fourth Monday of every month. And anybody, one's a committee meeting where we go over everything, and the next one's the council meeting where we put it into place. And so that gives us 2 weeks to review what we've talked about. We have a few, not many. Steph comes from the Black Flag Gazette, mm-hmm. and she'll stay for 20 minutes and get whatever information she needs to add into the paper, which is a great thing to have her. We've had different people come through, a lot more this past winter and last summer we had quite a few come through. But there would be one, maybe two that would come, and they usually come in a pair. They don't come alone. Usually they come with a friend, when they want to sit and watch. We have a couple of benches to set up. People can sit back on the benches. Not allowed to say anything. You can't interject anything because there's an agenda. However, if you want to be on the agenda and want to say something, then we can add you in there, and then that's the Robert's Rules of Order. Because it's not a town hall meeting. You're coming in as an audience, like going into a courtroom. You're just going to sit and watch what's going on with the proceedings. But at least you get information.
Yes.
And then when we go into what's called in-camera, if there's an in-camera thing we have to deal with, then we don't adjourn the meeting, but we vote to go in camera. And once we put a motion to go into in-camera, then people have to leave because now it's a private discussion of what we're going to talk about. Whatever it might be. Huh?
That doesn't make sense.
Well, because it could be dealing with an employee issue.
Oh, but why do they call it in camera?
Just because it's private. I don't get the whole in camera.
I don't get that either.
It's been called that forever. Going in camera. So maybe back in the day they'd actually fire up a camera and record what was being said so that it could still, people could have knowledge of it. But, if I'm dealing with you, Christopher tripped on the tracks last week and lost his 3 left toes and he wants to sue the town, mm-hmm. Or whatever. So if that's the case, that can't be public knowledge yet until we first discuss everything over. And then if it needs to be brought out to the public's light in time, if it's not a major issue or some stupid thing, then we would say, well, we dealt with this, this, and this, and this was in camera 2 weeks ago, but we're now going to institute it into regular session this mm-hmm. week. Whatever. So there's just things like that. But anyhow, we don't have any one of those meetings anybody can come in and sit in. And especially when we get to the new building, our new municipal building up on the hill, there'll be in the council chambers, there's going to be not a courtroom setting, but we're setting it up more like, and then we're going to have on the back end of it, a door that goes out to council chambers mm-hmm. where we could exit and go out to in-camera there or discuss everything before we come out into the audience.
That
and
makes sense.
Think there'll be more people start to attend and come then. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's the general consensus. And I don't know, somebody come and told me one time, we're not allowed to attend council meetings, are we? Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows.
But if nobody knows... So I think they made a Facebook post here a while ago that, yes, council chambers are open to anybody that wants to come to a meeting.
They should put that on Facebook or something every week, every time it happens.
Yeah. tonight there'll be a council meeting at 6 o'clock or 6:30. You know, if you want to come and take part in the council, or at least, you know, listen to what's being discussed, because we discuss everything in the
Do
council.
they want that, though? Maybe that's another thing. We can't get political. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This has been Beyond the Roar, where we're talking about politics and the love of Jesus and making fun of people a little bit, which is good because they need it, and we need it.
We need a laugh.
Yep.
Give us something to make fun of.
Yeah. Yes. Let's make fun of you on our next podcast.
I would love it.
Like, share, subscribe. Send this to all your friends. Send it to people you don't like even. Even better.
Yeah.
Create chaos.
Tell us how good we're doing and how bad we're doing. We appreciate it.
Especially if we're doing bad. Make fun of us.
Right.
Make fun of Todd.
Yes. I got big shoulders. I can handle your jest.
I make fun of him.
He does.
We'll be talking.
This is Beyond the Roar.